everyone, and welcome to our 4-week healthy spine sequence. My name is Sofie and I'm one of our lifestyle educator here at Positive Choice. Every week we're going to be posting a 15-minute healthy spine sequence for you to practice as much as you can throughout the week. Remember that this is not meant to diagnose or treat or override any of your doctor's advice. Remember to always modify as needed. I will show you a couple of ways you can do that today. Avoid any pain and have fun with it. So let's go ahead and get started in child's pose. We'll bring the toes into touch and the knees out nice and wide as the mat. Sit down over the heels and then walk your hands out and forward until your forehead can come down on the mat. If you want more of an active stretch of your shoulders, then come up on your fingertips and rotate your arms off the mat. And relax your forehead. Let's start by taking a deep breath in through the nose. Feel how the whole lower back open, expands on that inhale. And then take an open mouth exhale as you release your way down towards the mat. We'll take 2 more like that. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then open mouth exhale to release any tension you experience around your back. 1 more time, deep breath in through the nose. Fill up. And take an open mouth exhale and sink heavier, deeper down in between your legs. As you press down into your hands, see if you can sink your sit bones a little further back and over your heels. Walk your right hand out towards the right edge of the mat and stack your left hand on top of it. Again, relax your forehead to the mat. Take a deep breath in through this left side of your body. And on your exhale, sink your left sit bone back and over the left heel, finding a little more length into the left side of your body. Take 1 more full breath in here. And on your exhale, walk your hands through center. Your left hand comes out to the left side of the mat, right hand stacks on top, forehead to the ground. Deep breath into the right side of your rib cage. Deep breath out and sink your right sit bone back and over the right heel, finding more length into the right side of your torso. 1 more time, deep breath in. And on your exhale, walk your hands back to center. Slowly begin to walk your hands in and roll up into a table tuck with your hands right underneath your shoulders and bring your knees in and under your hips. We'll tuck the toes and just slightly engage the lower abdomen. We're going to be rolling through the spine here, and I want you to be really mindful of where you find more or less mobility throughout your spine. On your next breath in, start from your tailbone, begin to lift your tailbone so that you arch into your lower back. That roll continues up through your upper back until your gaze lifts upwards. On your exhale, tuck your tailbone down and under and let that curl up through your lower back, up through your upper back, and then look in towards your chest. Inhale, lift your tailbone, arch through your lower back, upper back, neck, look up. Exhale, curl your tailbone in and under, round through your lower back, upper back, and look down. Take 2 more here in your own pace, following your own breath. And being curious of where you feel more or less mobility of your spine. If there are areas that feels more stiff or less mobile, try to bring a little extra attention into that area. Maybe slow down the movement when you get to that point. On your next breath in, come back to a neutral tabletop. And on your exhale, we'll bring the hips out towards the right side and then back and over your heels. On your inhale, swing your hips towards the left side and slowly come back up to neutral tabletop. Exhale, bring your hips towards the right side and all the way back and over your heels. Inhale, come back up to neutral and we'll switch direction. Exhale, bring your hips towards the left side and back and over your heels. Inhale towards the right side and forward. And exhale towards the left side and back. Finding length through the lower back and stretching out through the glutes. Inhale, come up to the right side and up to neutral. And on your exhale, bring your belly button up and in towards your spine. So you should experiencing that your lower back gets more flattened. So instead of we hang into the spine, we bring the belly button up to meet the spine, finding more strength. Keep your toes tucked and gently press into your hands and your toes so that your knees hover just an inch or two off the mat. Take a breath in and a breath out. Bring your belly button up and in. Take one more breath in. And on your exhale, press your chest towards your thighs and then press your heels towards your mat until your sit bone comes up towards the ceiling. If downward facing dog here feels too strenuous for you today, you can always drop down on your knees and sit back over your heels and come back down to child's pose. Otherwise, we'll stay up in that downward facing dog just for a couple of breaths. You can begin to pedal out your feet a couple of times, bending and stretching your knees, guiding one heel down to the floor at a time. You'll feel a good stretch into the calf muscle, the back side of your thigh, your hamstring. If you are in child's pose, then just for a second, press yourself up to downward facing dog. We'll try and keep the legs as straight as possible as we slowly walk the feet towards the hands. And you'll feel that good stretch of the back sides of your legs. When you come up with your feet behind your wrists, about hip distance apart, we'll bend the knees a lot, so much that your upper body is hanging down and over your thighs, and then relax your head to the ground. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. And it's really important here that we're not trying to hold the upper body up. At this point, you can completely relax. We're stretching out and creating space in between every single vertebrae. From here, we'll create some gentle movements. Begin to swing your elbows over towards the right side and guide your left hip a little backwards. And then slowly move through center. We'll take it towards the left side and guide the right hip just a little bit backwards to feel the lower right side of your spine stretching. And then come back to center. 2 more like this. Make your way back to center. We'll release here and bring your hands up towards your knees are still bent. Bring your spine up about halfway so that your upper body is parallel to the ground. Hug your shoulder blades in towards one another and look down to keep the neck long and straight. Your tailbone is shooting towards the back of the mat. It's like somebody's pulling through the crown of your head and through your tailbone, getting the spine nice and long. Take a breath in here. And a breath out. With that straight spine, take a breath in and come up to a stand and bring your arms all the way up and overhead. Allow your palms to touch and look up towards your thumbs. Slight back bend of your spine. Ground firmly down into your feet and reach a little longer through your fingertips. Take one more breath in, feel your chest lift. And on your exhale, bring your hands down by your sides. And we'll bring the hands into your lower back with your fingertips pointing downwards. Begin to bring the elbows in towards one another and squeeze your shoulder blades together so your chest is nice and open. With your hands, begin to guide your glutes and your tailbone down towards your heels, finding more length through the lower back. Engage your glute muscles and your inner thighs like you had that block in between your thighs. You could even try and bring a block in between your thighs and give that block a little squeeze. On your next breath in, lift through your chest up towards the ceiling. Like there was a string in your chest, lifting you upwards. So it creates a back bend of the spine, but it's not like we're hanging back, we're just lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades in together. bring your hands back up on your knees and find a halfway lift, shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, release down. We'll plant the hands on the mat and step the feet to the back. Bring your knees back down to the floor. Rotate your elbows inwards. And on a breath in, lean forward over your hands. Lower your hips just so that there's a straight line from your knees to the crown of your head. And on your exhale, hug your elbows in as you go all the way down to the mat. Untap your toes and bring your hands in close towards your chest with your hands right underneath your elbows. On your next breath in, roll your shoulder blades back and in as you lift your chest off the ground. Your feet stay glued into the mat and find a slight gaze downwards. We're strengthening through the lower back muscles, upper back muscles. If you can take a little more here, you can release your hands off the ground and really get that upper back firing up. Take one more breath in, lift an inch higher in this baby cobra. And on your exhale, release all the way down. Release your hands down to the sides and look to the right side. Bring your feet up and just gently, slowly let your feet slide side to side. When you come back to center, we'll release the feet back. We'll do that one more time, and I'll give you an alternative to go a little bit deeper. You can keep your hands here like we did before, or you can interlace your fingers behind your back and straighten out your arms. If you want to try this variation, but you're having a hard time straightening out your arms, a strap can be a nice tool, or even a towel. And then you can press your hands back and lift your chest. On your next breath in, press the tops of your feet into the ground and press your knuckles or the strap back towards your feet. Your feet are still glued into the mat, and you're pressing into the feet so that your kneecaps are lifting off the ground. Take one more breath in. And on your exhale, release down. Drop the strap or your towel if you have it. Hands down by your side. Look to the left side, and once again, lift your legs and sweep them side to side. Nice and slow. And then release your feet back down. Bring your hands back into your chest, and we'll come up on the forearms. Roll your shoulders down your back and lift your chest forward. Now it's going to feel like you're holding onto the ground here. And on your next breath in, pull in your hands and guide your chest in between your arms. Press into your elbows so your shoulders are lowering down away from your ears. And you can take this as far as feels good. If this feels too strenuous on your spine, then lower down a little bit. You can also take it a little further. If you can take a little bit more, you press into your hands and guide your chest a little higher. Be mindful. Take one more inhale. And on your exhale, slowly come down. Hands down by your sides. Forehead to the mat. Take a deep breath into your lower back. And a deep breath out. Bring your hands back in next to your chest. Tuck your toes under. Begin to engage through your core, and on your next breath in, slowly press yourself up. And we'll come all the way back into child's pose, this time with the knees into touch, forehead to the mat, and hands down by your side. Take a couple of deep breaths into the whole back side of your body. Feel it creating space with every breath that comes in. And find that release on every breath that comes out. Let your arms be heavy and your shoulder blades sit free. Your next breath in, slowly roll up your spine, one vertebrae at a time, until you're up to a seat. And we'll swing the legs out in front of us. You're welcome to grab a block with you if you have one. And we'll just keep it here by our sides. Plant your feet right behind your glutes, about hip distance apart. Hands down by your sides with your palms facing down. With a little bit of an arch in the lower back, just a neutral arch in the lower back. Begin to engage the core. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, press into your feet and begin to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Feel as if you still have that block in between your thighs, finding a little bit of engagement through your inner thighs. Take one more breath in and lift up, press into your arms. And on your exhale, roll down your spine one vertebrae at a time until your tailbone touches the ground. Let your knees fall in against each other and walk your feet to the outer edges of the mat. Take a deep breath down into your lower back, lower abdomen, and a deep breath out. So heel your feet back in behind your glutes, hip distance apart. We'll do that bridge pose one more time. Take a breath in, find that core engagement like you were wearing a corsage. And on your exhale, press into your arms and your feet, lift your hips off the ground. Take one breath in and hold. And on your exhale, roll down your spine one vertebrae at a time. From here, hop your knees in over your chest. And give your lower back just a gentle massage as you rock side to side. Bring your arms out to the sides. And maybe you create a little more twist in the spine, allowing your legs to fall a little more towards the right side. A little bit over towards the left side. Only going as far as feels okay in your lower back. One more time each side. Come back up to center. Hug the knees into your chest and lift your nose up towards your knees. And then release your legs out in front of you. Your hands down by your side, palms facing up. One more deep breath into your lower back, lower belly. And find release as you exhale. You're welcome to stay in the Shavasana, this relaxing pose, for as long as you want. But if you're ready to continue your day, then stretch your arms over your head. And then roll yourself over to either side into fetal posture. Just taking a moment to appreciate the time that you've spent on yourself. Press into your hands and sideways push yourself up to a comfortable seat. And we'll bring our hands together in front of our chest, in front of our heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And an open mouth exhale out. Thank you guys for practicing with me. Namaste.